Hey everybody, Christopher here, and we are prepping for more green screen shooting for Green Screen Saint for Brimstone Saint. So things are never easy. You want to get this stuff right, you gotta. There's always some other hoop you have to jump through, and today's hoop for me is I'm painting trees black. Actually, they're not trees. I had over the winter time a couple of bushes in my backyard died, and for Chris Young's Brimstone Saint, I really wanted to give the opening credit sequence that kind of stop motion, Tim Burton-esque, artificial, yet artful look, and that's what Chris Young wanted as well. So I set to work on making these dead branches into dead trees for the haunted forest. But they have a lot of green on them, a lot of moss. Let's see if I can find it, or they reflect a lot of green. So I have to paint these a darker color so that they don't pick up, or the keying software doesn't pick up the green in the branches, and then I don't have a proper key to pull. And you can imagine with these branches here, which are very thin and spindly, there's a lot of room for error. So I have taken this bucket and filled it with some water and put in some black paint because I don't want it to be solid black. I mean, I might as well just get cans of spray paint and just spray them down outside if I wanted to do that. I want to have some texture here in the branches. So I'm essentially turning the paint and water into a stain for this wood, and keeping that texture. So I've got this one done so far. That took me, I don't know, about half an hour to do. This one here, my back is already starting to feel it. I need to do some back strengthening exercises. But I've still got one, two, three more to do, and then there's a necklace that is it's not a MacGuffin in the movie, but it's a plot element that is central to some things that develop. And we're going to hang that necklace in these branches. Then we're going to do some handheld camera motion with some tracking dots behind the branches on the green screen, and then we're going to comp in a kind of a haunted forest or a valley background with storm clouds and thunder and lightning. And yeah, it's going to be fun. The camera can, as you can see, we can kind of take the camera and bring it through the branches and back out, whatever. I don't know. But it's going to be really cool, and this is going to be one of the last shots. I'm very excited about it. And I have so much more to talk about. If you're a Patreon subscriber, you're getting this early. I'm going to be doing some new stuff on Patreon. I've been thinking about it a lot. I'm going to do more on writing, on storytelling, because I see a lot of people creating short films or independent movies, and they've got a lot of great ideas, but they also, still have some what I'll call discipline issues. Filmmaking on every level is a very disciplined art form, and you can get good at one part of filmmaking, and then somebody was talking in another video I was listening to not too long ago about the Peter Principle. The Peter Principle is that people will always rise to or get promoted to their level of incompetence. Now, incompetence, that's kind of a strong word because that's, it feels like you're insulting that person. You're incompetent. It's not meant to be incompetence in terms of you're an idiot or anything like that. It's just that everybody has their level of competence. There are things that they're good at. And then if you try and rise above those levels of confidence without doing the proper work to earn that knowledge, to hone those skills, then you rise up to a level that you get to, and then you fail. And then you get knocked back down, and it looks bad for you. So I see a lot of filmmakers who are doing very competent work in different aspects of film. They're very good at certain things, whether it be the pre-production or the production or the post-production. But then they want to kind of rise above that and make their own film, and they haven't considered all the other things that they are not yet disciplined at. So they end up tripping themselves up. They get a little too bold, or they get a little too excited and eager, and they go forth, and and honestly, that's not always a bad thing. That's how you learn. Nobody's going to make their first work of art and have it be great. You got to make a bunch of bad works of art first before you do something good. You learn. But a lot of what I've been seeing in terms of filmmaking is what I would say are there are things that you can afford to fail at when making your film and still have it be successful. Um, and there are things that you fundamentally cannot you cannot screw up, or you cannot afford to leave to chance, I should say, more of it. So I'm going to be talking about those things. I'm going to talk about my writing. I'm probably going to start with my short film Roger that I did for the Roger Corman Challenge. The winner of that has still not been announced, and I feel like Linus waiting in the pumpkin patch. I am so excited about this contest, and I feel like I have a good chance of winning it. I hope I'm not wrong, but either way, I need to know, because I really just like that'd be like mwah, winning an Oscar. Better than winning an Oscar, winning the Roger Corman Challenge, honestly, and I could talk about that too. But I'm going to break down the 2-minute film Roger that I made, and I'm going to talk about why I feel like it was a successful film, narratively, story-wise. I'll talk about, I'm already putting together a video where I made a making of Roger. Now I did the effects and that sort of thing, but this is actually going to be talking about the story elements. And then I'm going to be talking about other elements, like, you know, how to know what your best story elements or your best ideas are, and which ideas have to go. Essentially the kill your darlings thing, because that's one thing that I see in storytelling. You get a lot of good ideas, and you want to get them all in there, and they just don't all belong in there. They can't work together. You got to come up with some. So, but anyway, I'm getting a phone call, and I'm getting a notification that the